Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. You can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. Be seen on WHPR Detroit Live, Comcast Cable Channel 91, on the web at TV33WHPR.com, with the TV33 app, on Roku, Google TV, Apple TV, and on Amazon Fire TV. Act now. Time slots are limited. Sign up today and get a free replay with the purchase of your time slot. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
There's a new financial empowerment center located in the Wayne County Treasurer's Office on the 5th floor of 400 Monroe in Detroit.
If you or someone you know needs help with their finances, budgeting, and making monthly payments, the Detroit Financial Empowerment Center can help.
Wayne Metro Community Action Agency has counselors ready to provide free one-on-one counseling to help you address issues related to utility bills, taxes, and other financial matters. We can also help you improve your credit score.
This is the weekly broadcast of Ask Welfare Rights. You know, every now and then, Marion and I stop to remind people about the theme song. That man's name is Mr. Eddie Harris. And Eddie Harris was, and I don't know if he's alive or not, I hope he is. But Eddie Harris was one of the great jazz musicians that created this song that we play for our intro called Listen Here. And I know when Marion and I first, we was talking about that before. We're talking about 19 years we've been coming to this station. And we selected the Eddie Harris Listen Here song as our theme song because what we would like people to do is to listen. And then we would like you to call in to talk to us so that we can listen. My name is Maureen Taylor. I work with the Michigan Welfare Rights Organization, and I'm here with my colleague, Marion Kramer, who is chair of the National Welfare Rights Union, and she's going to give you an official welcome. So, Marion, please say good morning.
I almost lost my voice. Good morning. I'm so happy that we have had the opportunity today to be back out here with you. So pay us that type of gratitude for us also in the sense that you call in and let's talk. I want you to remember that you call in to these numbers, 313-868-0342 and 313-868-0351. And the last number is 313-868-4336. You can look at the TV, or I hope you have those numbers somewhere in your house that you never forget. Don't be like me. I be looking for them all over the place. The website is www.tv33. What are you talking about?
Forgot to dot.
You know what? This woman worked with...
After 19 years. Go ahead.
You know what? I'm going to take her out and find her some wine or something and cool her down. The website is www... there you go.
www. dot.
I know that. I was looking for it. See, she just loves to take over. www.com.
www.tv33whpr.com is right there.
No, it's not.
Okay.
You're looking at the wrong thing.
Okay.
See, she's taking over again. The website is www.tv33whpr.com. We're waiting on you to call in. Don't sit back and just eat your breakfast and call in and at least say hello.
Well, Marion, this morning, the country's in the grips of all kinds of things that are going on. And I wanted to, we got a couple of people that we asked to call in later on this morning. And I thought I'd listen to a little bit of the news last night and this morning. And we've got 8 people shot and killed in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And 6 of these women were, I want to say Korean. They may not have all been from Korea, but they're all of Asian descent. And all of these conversations are swirling. I know you haven't seen the article that I wrote. I sent it to you, but I know you haven't had a chance to look at it yet. And it's, people are waiting for the police department or the FBI or law enforcement of some sort to classify this. But Marian, every woman that saw this, every woman, now there might be some exceptions because when you use the word every, sometimes that can be misleading. But women who saw that and heard the details understood as soon as we saw the picture of the guy, the 21-year-old, I had shoes older than him. So what's he so mad about? And I wanted to at least have us say a little something. This is March. We still into International Women's Month. And here we got this young white guy who trying to tell the police that he had a sexual fetish. And the police are quoting what the criminal said, We're not going to listen to what he said. But he told people that it was some kind of a sexual addiction that he was dealing with. And this morning I heard one of these reporters from the Georgia area talking about it took this guy 40 minutes from his house to where these massage salons were. And he passed by all kind of entities, all kind of businesses with all kind of women in them, all kind. But he went straight to where these Asian women are. And the other thing I thought about, I remember that movie with Jennifer Lopez called Enough. Mm-hmm. And the movie was about her husband sleeping with the enemy, that kind of thing. Her husband, the man who swore to love her, was beating her up all the time, Yeah. And in that movie Enough, when she finally said, I've had enough of this, and she went and got a trainer so that he could learn some martial arts and some self-defense and those kinds of things. And I remember his comments to her. If you get into a fight with this man, he will kick you.
That's right.
And if you get down on the ground or you fall, he will put his foot on your face. And he will do all of those things in terms of finding those areas where you're most vulnerable to be long-term injured. And he will kick you and beat you in your face and in those places where you're sure to be wounded for years. And I said to somebody the other day, I bet when this ain't nothing but a card-carrying white supremacist. That's all he is.
That's what he is.
That's all he is, because he learned how to be this kind of beast from somebody. He learned this. But I knew, Marion, this morning they confirmed it. He shot these women in the face. Mm-hmm. He shot them in the head. Mm-hmm. He was giving them a message. You all think you all beautiful and you're brown skinned and you think you all that. What you don't understand is I'm a white guy and I got privilege. I have the right to chastise you. I have the right to inflict pain and whatnot because I'm privileged like that. And that's all I can think about. It don't matter what the police said. The one sheriff had already been set down because he quoting what the criminal
He
said. I was
was-
having a bad day. What?
He was having a bad day too.
You know?
for standing up
Yeah.
there talking that nonsense.
The women were having a bad day.
That's
they,
who was
they,
having-
they
had
were
a
having a
bad day.
bad day, you know.
I mean, soon he opened his mouth. I turned around and said, "What did he say?" That this man was having a bad day. Too bad none of those police turned around and slapped him. You know, but the woman was the mayor was on target.
Yeah.
She was on
Keisha
target.
Lance Bottoms.
She was on target. You don't just sit around and take this type. That is the time that you condemn that type of stuff. And you put his behind right in jail with people that he can't stand. You know,
I wonder.
I mean, it's
It's so
criminal,
awful,
Maureen.
isn't it?
It's
I wonder,
criminal.
as the police found him and did the pit maneuver and pulled his car over to the side and all that. I wonder, Marion, when after they apprehended him, did they stop by Burger King
They probably
or
did.
McDonald's and get him a shake? You know,
They
that's
probably
remember
did.
what's the other one's name? Dylan Rush. They shot black folks in the church. And you know, I wonder if they thought, oh, you young guy and you've made a mistake and let's go
that's
get something to
so-and-so,
eat.
son.
You
Let
know?
us take him home
You know,
before
But-
somebody catch him.
Well, they didn't do that. They took him right on to the jail. But you know, just,
And they knew that
you know,
he knew that
he
guy.
was guilty.
Yeah, he's
He was
guilty. It's
There's
all
no question
outdoors.
about that. Who turned him in, Marion?
No, I don't know.
His parents. The
Oh,
parents
they-
looked on
they-
TV and said, "Hey, that looks like our kid." And the parents turned him in and say he's the one that did this. But just think, I think about that other white guy that drove through Texas, 12 hours, so he could get to an open air event. And because Donald Trump, the former president, had talked about these Mexicans, these Hispanics, are taking over the country. And this guy drove 12 hours to get to a Latino event so he could shoot, and he did, 28 people dead, so he could shoot Latino women and children. And, you know, the history of this country is about that kind of stuff. Here's a guy, 21 years of age, you're just too young to be hateful like this. And of course, somebody made him this way. I have no sympathy for him, but I understand it. I do understand it. Somebody told him he had privilege. He had the right to go and kill people. And if he had some kind of a sexual fetish and he couldn't figure out what to do about it, and all these Asian women, they look so beautiful. They're so submissive. And they're this and they're that. And all this kind of list of what he had going on in his head, he learned that hatred. He learned it. And so whatever it was that happened, and I guess in a minute we're going to hear something about his girlfriend, you know, threw him away. He couldn't find a date. He was ready to go to the prom 2 or 3 or 4 years earlier, and the person he's trying to go to the prom with said no. You know, some kind of foolishness. And then I think of one more thing, Mary, and I want you to comment. If I got a dog or a cat, but I'll just stick with a dog, and I was mad at the dog for whatever reason. Dog went to the bathroom in the house. Something happened. And I took a knife, a butcher knife, and I stabbed that dog. All right? Some folks would say, well, you know, I'm sure she didn't mean it. She didn't do it before, and she just was out of control. And making those kinds of comments, which all that does is says that the dog really wasn't all that important. It is just a dog, you know. Let's don't go off crazy, because it was just a dog. And that would be a message, Marion, that the dog or the pet that I harmed and killed was really not of that much value. And then I think about here are working class women. And the message, the hint was, well, maybe they were doing more than massages in there. And they might have been bad women, and they might have been performing sexual favors and all this kind of stuff. But even if they were performing sexual services, they were working women. They were working women. He didn't have the right to go in and shoot people in the face, in the head, because he felt he had privilege. So, Mary, say something about where
Yeah,
working women are.
I know the other day we were talking, and one thing have been sticking to me ever since and before we got to this month. Look, women, it's time for us to stand up. Don't stand around and get beat up. Don't stand around and just let people abuse you because they feel that you have to kneel to them. This young man, they need to look. He needs to be in prison for quite a long time.
He will be.
I mean, those women didn't do nothing to him, nothing. And furthermore, they trying to make a living for their family. And that's not a big, I'm telling you, Maureen, that this has got to be the year that not only, that working women, be we employed or unemployed or what, began to stand up and say, we're not going to take this no more. Because we got the right to be able to live.
The right to live.
To live and to be able to have a job that is
Paying a wage that
a
we live
living
on.
wage, a living wage, and we're better than these folks that y'all in I'm gonna put it in the folks, the rich. We're better than you, but you've been raised that you are above us. Now we're not gonna have this no more. It is up to us to begin to take a stand. We'll probably have something to tell you about next week, but it is time. My mother was a woman that didn't tolerate people abusing children. Although, she got to the point, Maureen, she said, I'm carrying me a pistol. But that was, and she wasn't
Well,
afraid
you said
to
abusing children, then you said she carried a gun.
Yeah, she got sick of that mess of women getting beat up and all that type of stuff. Viola said, no, you're not going to abuse my children, and I'm not taking abuse no more myself. So therefore, it's time for us to stand up and come together and make sure that we're gonna have a plan.
868-0342-0351-4336. We had a truth commission last night. And the purpose, what the definition of a truth commission is that victims of poverty were invited to share their statements, give some kind of description of what their lives have been about, particularly focusing in on some of the more difficult episodes in their life that connected to being poor. And a couple of the ladies that talked, it was virtual, and the testifiers were from around the country. And several of them talked about how their lives started to take a turn because they had partners that hurt them and that were abusive to them, and they had to run away from the house, had to escape, take the kids with them, one child, 2, 3, 4, one lady had 5 kids, and had to run off and go somewhere for safety. And how the welfare system, a government system, made these women, their lives were already difficult, but the welfare system made their situation even worse. And so with that, Marian, I thought maybe one of the things we could raise up this morning is this question of welfare, because we have a lot of African Americans that, black people, they call right down here to this station. I don't know if they call anymore about it. We used to call right down here and talk about women, black women need to get off welfare and those kinds of things, and then had stereotypes about women that were on welfare. And I thought that maybe today we could say a little something about where we've come from. 1966, that event that happened in Syracuse, New York, with George Wiley and other folks, where people brought together to have a conversation. Well, people brought together to have a conversation about, yeah, and say something about that event. And that was the start, or at least one of the starts about a welfare rights movement.
There was a conference called in Syracuse during that period of time, and I was working at WCO.
Nobody knows what that is.
Will you wait?
You know?
It was an organization in off of Trumbull and what have you, because people over there got sick and tired of things being talking about their homes, you know, trying to sell and take their homes away and what have you. We got a bus together of people that had never been out of Detroit.
Now, you didn't say what WCO was.
West Central Organization. I did. It was an organization that
Central, okay.
that we brought together to be able to start dealing, you know, for the community to be able to speak up and fight for what they wanted. We went to Syracuse. When we left Detroit, it was a little snow. We got to Syracuse, it was a lot of snow. And I started looking around, and all these people started coming in, you know, and I had just left the civil rights movement. Started coming in. Here was Beulah Sanders, Annie Chambers, and a lot of folks that showed up, Johnny Tillman and what have you. And it was to talk about poverty and stuff like that. And they had just sent 4 of us down that had been in the civil rights movement and said, we need you to join in with us because we need to teach people how to organize. And we told them we would love to, but I had committed myself to, when I get back to Detroit, to, you know, working for WCO. Mm-hmm. But I tell you what, I will work with you also. But, you know, I was so happy to see so many women named Maureen. And those women that George, we had been working with George also. George and I had worked together in the civil rights movement, and got together and talked about the question of building an organization. Mm-hmm. Came out of that with that organization. They ended up being the National Welfare Rights Organization. And let me tell you,
Just a minute, caller.
It grew because people were tired of being abused at the welfare department, being abused by their husbands, if you want to call those abusers your husband, and what have you. And it grew across the country. We took we still have some of those older folks here. Here's one right here.
I wasn't in it at that time. But
and
go ahead, we'll get this call.
They you know, they taught folks how not only to organize, but to take over the welfare department.
All right.
And when they went in there, not just for one, but for anybody sitting in that office and being abused by the welfare department, they wasn't going to leave until everybody got taken care of. That was the women that I used to hang with. Maureen and I knew. And a lot of them are still coming up.
868-0342-0351 or 868-4336. And what Marion is talking about is some of the original roots of the National Welfare Rights Movement.
Oh, my God.
And women from around the country, men too. I always think about Faith Evans, yeah. Some bad brothers that was involved. And how over the years the fight to manage, the fight and advocate on behalf of low-income communities, low-income populations has always been a difficult one. And yet again, we see that battle connected directly to the murders of these women down in Georgia. These were working women. They had jobs. They had heard today that one of them had 2 sons, and one of the sons has been identified as not identified, but what he's been saying is nobody from law enforcement has reached out to him. No. And maybe his mother's not dead. I mean, this kind of, oh my God, kind of feeling. But then to just raise this question, Marion, about men, boyfriends, and fiancés and husbands that think it's okay to beat their girlfriends, to beat their partners, you know. And I'm told, I don't know any numbers, but during this pandemic, and the phrase is just frightening, so many women have been forced to take shelter and to quarantine with abusers.
Yeah.
They can stay at the house with the folk that want to fight you and beat you up and demean you and all this kind of stuff. And how on this day in March, Marion, International Women's Month, this scamp, this horrible guy, thought he had the right to go and shoot people. And again, not just shoot them in the shoulder, shoot them in the kneecap. He went and shot people in the face.
Do you know
in
what?
The head.
The terror behind folks like that grow up and want to abuse women, people don't realize that the children are soaking that in and thinking, young girls are thinking that maybe this is the way I'm supposed to live.
Just property.
And young men are thinking that this is the way women's supposed to kowtow to me. That's why I love that little Viola Ross and my mother, as well as my grandfather and all the rest of them. You are not marrying a man to be a punching bag for.
Yeah.
And so, we have to understand, it's the man, what we have seen even in welfare rights, don't realize a lot of time that they're not only abusing their mate, but they're abusing their children.
Yeah, learning a lesson.
And once they go in for help, Maureen, on that, they bust out in tears to realize what's going on, because they're not going. That's what some of them was raised with. This young man had to be with some kind of group for him to be able to learn that type of stuff.
Somebody taught him that was
Somebody,
okay. He learned it from somewhere.
And his parents stepped up and said, no, "That's our child."
Boy, that must have been a moment.
That I know it had to be said, but no telling what he was doing at home too.
Well, on January the 6th, I wonder if he was at the Capitol building.
Yeah,
because it's the profile of the same kind of person.
Yes, it is.
He is the guy, what they call him, the lone terrorist.
Yes.
And I wonder if he was at the Capitol building on January 6th, because he seems to have all the profile issues. Now, somebody would say to you and I, Mary, well, you all don't have all details. Yes, we do.
Oh, yes, we do.
We do. Here's a guy with this strange looking beard, hate women of color. I mean, clearly, Keisha Lance Bottoms and other folks talking about all the installations that he passed on the way to get to these Asian women. He passed a whole bunch of places,
Mm-hmm.
He
didn't go to a old mill
barbershop. He didn't. He passed all the barbershops and passed all kind of places, stores, and everything else. And he went straight to where these
abused those women, killed them.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. And again, I ain't gonna get over it. Shot him in the face. In the head. He's trying to give him a message. I'm upset, and I have the right to do some stuff like this. And now all of the TV
Time
channels
to come together, ladies.
Yeah,
women.
All the TV channels are talking about this, and I hope that the message that may or may not be said on air is what Marion is talking about. We have to come together about a lot of things.
Yeah,
You know,
we
a
have
lot
to-
of
We have to
things.
help one another as far as this is time out for that mess.
You're not
We
a
fought in the
punching bag.
'60s. We have fought all the way here to say, look, ain't I a woman, Maureen?
Ain't I a woman, sojourner truth?
I mean, you know, it's women that raised your butt. Mm-hmm. And you-
Tupac, got your name
Yes.
from a woman, got your game from a woman. Lord have mercy, you
and
know?
so, you know, it makes you so much. You make you so angry,
Yeah.
so angry.
Over the next few days, over the next few weeks, we're going to talk about this. It's going to be talked about. And this concept of women being property, you know, these capitalists, boy, they institute,
Look
they
at
bring
that fool
forward,
that was the president.
well, they bring so many pieces of knowledge, so many pieces of stereotypes, and the former president, calling this the Chinese flu, the Chinese virus,
Oh, my
the
God.
Kung flu, all that kind of stuff. And Mary, it made me think, you know, and I hadn't connected that dot. You know, we got a variant. We've got a change in the virus where it has morphed into something a little bit different. This is the RNA factor. So instead of 6 chromosomes and 9 neutrons and, you know, whatever the right words are, it is changed into 6 and 3 or 7 and 8. And they're calling the one the African variant.
Yeah,
And I never thought of that before. You know, I remember when they said, what was it? Ebola was the African Ebola, as if a virus has a nationality.
the Chinese.
You know, well, I'm talking about those in the past. And then we got a California variant. And all that means is that virus mutated in California to resist vaccines and to resist fighting against it. And then I thought, man, to call this an African variant or variant is probably the wrong thing to do. And I'm saying probably because as I think this through a little bit more, it is the wrong thing. And the statement should be there is a new mutation of the virus that we're seeing in Africa. It's not an African variant. A virus don't have no nationality, you know, and it's the way we listen. It's the way we get information. They've got a Brazil variant. You know,
they ran that whole thing down.
yeah, you know, yeah, all these different countries, and you know, so we got Africa, we got a brown country, black country, and Brazil, we got a brown country, and I wonder how much longer is it gonna be? You know, I ain't heard nothing about the Swedish variant or the German variant. Don't have that information as of yet. There is a English variant. There is something called an English variant. But it's not a nationality question. And it goes back to, Marion, the fight that I heard on TV yesterday with Rand Paul.
Oh.
State Senator Rand Paul arguing with Dr. Fauci on TV yesterday. And Fauci was saying the importance of wearing a mask, and sometimes he wears 2 masks, all this kind of stuff. And Dr. Rand Paul, who is an ophthalmologist, eye doctor, was on TV talking about, well, after you get both shots, then you're immune from catching the virus. So you parading around the country, that's what he said, you parading around the country wearing 2 masks is just like theater. You know, it's not a medical issue. And somebody called that later on the clash between politics and science. Science says we need to be careful and keep that air, keep those fumes, keep those possibilities away from us. And Rand Paul says that this is just theater. It doesn't make any difference because after you've been vaccinated fully, you know, for the next several months, you're going to be okay, which was his point. He didn't need to get a shot. He didn't need to be vaccinated. He didn't need to get the vaccine because he had antibodies because he had already had COVID. You know, it's the kind of
that's-
world we live in.
I know it. But
Crazy.
some of these young people out here said, "Well, I didn't have COVID. I don't have to worry." What?
Where you get that from?
Where you get? All of them are scientists now.
Well,
You know, well, if you're a scientist, you should be
You should know
checking
better.
things out. No, Maureen, I tell you, United States for years have been so damn backwards. It's ridiculous. I'm talking about the people that run this country
I
for
understand.
their benefit, and they protect. Now you got that other nut that was there in the White House.
Here's our guest.
Oh,
Might
yes,
be our
yes,
guest.
yes. Check it out.
Okay, Miriam, I just ask you to hold for just a moment. Caller, you've been very patient, and thank you for calling in. You are reaching the Ask Welfare Rights broadcast. You are on the air. Caller, you
Good
there?
morning. This is Nina Sassy.
Well, very good.
Go.
You're the lady I'm waiting for, Miss Nina. Miss Nina was asked to call us this morning.
Yes.
And give us what information is the most recent about this outstanding project that's going on in Highland Park. And so welcome, Miss Nina, and talk to us about what do you know and when did you know it?
Good morning.
All right. Well, thanks for having me this morning. For starters, there's a lot of great work happening in Highland Park and Benton Harbor with the water leak pilot. We're happy to have some additional partners join that have been able to provide some more resources for families. So in addition to the water leaks that we're going to be repairing in about 100 homes in Highland Park, we are happy to announce that through a partnership with Kohler, they're going to get free water sense, water faucets, and water shower kits. And through another partnership with DTE, their energy efficient program, they're going to get a free energy efficient water heater. So I'm really excited about partners that we've been able to work with, including you all at Highland Park Rights Coalition, that have been really integral in making this work happen.
Now, Miss Nina, would you give a little bit more detail? And I heard you say 100 homes. So you're talking about 100 homes in Highland Park. And what are they going to be eligible to receive through this, what's it called, the water leak, and this is a pilot program. What are they going to be eligible for? Tell us about that.
So with the water leak pilot, what we've been able to do is so that we can work with residents to determine if they have a water leak or if there's something else in their home where they have some water leaks. And so
Miss Nina?
we're working with the current.
Miss Nina is getting just a little hard to hear you. So you got to find that right space where you are where we can get to a little bit better reception. So say that one more time.
Okay, let me try moving because I'm hearing an echo.
Oh, I can hear you perfectly now. And what you have to do is
working with the Curry Plumbing
no.
to actually get the work done in communities and then do it to repairs.
All right, Miss Nina,
we're dedicated to make these repairs in homes, and like I said, due to the partnerships that we have with DTE Energy Efficiency Program and Kohler, we're going to be able to do a lot of work in the home. For sure, we're going to focus on replacing toilets because we know that they use a lot of energy. And looking for those water leaks that you have in your kitchen and your bathroom, repairing those. Because as we know, it's costly and it's also a health benefit to have those repairs made. You know, we want to make sure, again, that you're getting quality water coming through your faucet. And so, like I said, I'm excited for this, excited for the work and all of the efforts that everyone's doing to get residents to with this pilot, I mean, I've mentioned that there's about 100 residents that will benefit from it initially, but the plan is to really make sure that this is a community-wide effort. We're starting with 100, we're getting the process down, and then we're going to come back and make sure that we have resources for the rest of the families that need the help.
Okay. Now, I'll say this one more thing, and then Marion has a question to ask you. Are you sitting down, Miss Nina?
Yeah.
Okay. Wherever you are, you got to stay right there, cause your voice is going in and out. Now, you're
that's
not
good,
watching us on TV now, are you?
No, but I am hearing an echo.
Okay, we can hear you perfectly right now.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Marion, go ahead. You have a question?
Good hearing your voice, Nina. I haven't been able to see you lately, but it is a good program. One of the things is this is for Highland Park. We're beginning to see some type of these coalitions coming together, or organizations coming together and caring about Highland Park, because and I was so happy when Sylvia brought it to us also, because Highland Park has always been overlooked for years. When we did started the whole water fight, it was obvious that Highland Park was just a city standing alone, and people were not doing nothing about it. There were people in the community trying to. The people in Highland Park have tried to work on this water situation as well as other programs, but by coming together with different organizations around the water program, the leak program, and all that type of stuff. We haven't worked together with some of these folks in a long time, and I'm so happy that this program is progressing the way that it is, because it will help us to even go on other steps and stuff. It's 100 now, but we're not going to stop, Maureen.
All right, so Nina, just to recap now, because I say we were only able to hear every other word. So it sounds like, I thought I heard you say toilets are going to be able to be replaced. Plumbing that may have leaks in it is going to be worked on. And I thought I heard you say a third area. Did you say there was something else that this project is going to be able to address?
Yes, so those water heaters, and those are
Water
really
heaters. Okay.
So residents are going to get energy efficient water heaters. So that means they're going to save money on their electric bill as well as their water.
All right, now what's the criteria? What do you have to do? Do you have to have 2 feet or 3 feet? Or do you have to have a one nose or 2 noses? What's the rule? You have to have 2 elbows or 1 elbow? What's the criteria?
First of all, you got to live in Highland Park.
Yes. You have to live in the city of Highland Park. What I will say, too, is that I really left that up to the partners in the community. We've learned from programs like the Wayne Metro Water Conservation Program that we can't be too restrictive. We have to make sure that we don't have these barriers up. So for that sake, I'm really leaning on you all to tell me, how do we prioritize? And that's where I've heard from you that you wanted to prioritize sure that families with children and elderly families had priority.
That's right.
When it came to having this work done for those first 100 homes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, we've been talking about this program for the last couple of weeks on Fridays during our broadcast. And so when Sylvia said, let's get Nina in here, we were happy to make certain that you would be able to give some more detail and some more depth, some more context about how this program might work. I'll ask you to make your final statement. I promise not to keep you all morning.
Wait a minute before she goes.
Okay, and Marion has something to say, and then we're going to ask you to give us your fullest overview about this program. But Marion has something she's going to say first. Go ahead, Marion.
We have another project in Benton Harbor.
Yes, same project, right?
Same project. And you know, it's something that could carry a lot of these program. This particular program will help end up helping other communities besides Highland Park, besides Benton Harbor or what have you. But it doesn't fall out of the sky, Maureen. People have to get out and talk to people and find out where are people in my community, working around this particular thing. But I want to say thanks to also to the person that stepped forward to be the coordinator of our stuff. I was so happy I didn't know what to do. Linda Wheeler, where I couldn't have all this stuff like you and I had to carry before. But and Gracie Wooten, they have been pillars, to help get this out and going. But we want the citizens of Highland Park also to understand, in order for this to be a successful program, we need the people of Highland Park also to call if you can't get us, call the water department. They'll tell you who to call. They have been being a part of
Okay,
that.
that's good.
Uh-huh.
All right, Miss Nina, give us your fullest overview of why this project is important.
All right. So I will say that the one takeaway from this, if you don't take away anything else, that as we think about water affordability and water access, repairing these water leaks is key in all of that work, because we know that there are people that are paying more money for water because of the older homes and the water waste associated with it. So again, we're looking at how can we make communities whole? How can we, again, provide resources to go in and repair these homes, make sure, again, that the water, the plumbing and everything is up to par, make sure that we're looking at potential lead sources within their homes. That's why we have that partnership with Healthy Homes. But we're doing this comprehensive approach of making sure that we are providing all the resources that we can so that residents ultimately have good water quality at an affordable rate. So I want everyone to keep that in mind, that we're looking at this in terms of, making sure, again, that the water that you're getting in your home, you're actually using it. It's not being wasted because you have a leaky pipe or because you have an older toilet that's using more water than you actually need it to use. We're also going to look at this from the water supplier or the water department perspective too, and saying, hey, what leaks do you have in your system that we need to repair? We want to take all the water waste out the equation so that the customer isn't stuck paying for that. So again, the key is a water affordability, make sure that people don't have these excessive bills because of water leaks in their homes, and which may lead to them not having access to water. This all builds up to that. So I appreciate what you guys are doing and getting everyone to rally together. We have all these great partners at the table. I really want, again, to learn from this experience. It's a pilot for a reason. We want to hear from residents that participate in this pilot. We're going to continue to make it better. And I'm excited to work with you guys. You can find out more information about the water leak pilot on my website. That's michigan.gov/clean water. And again, I think we have a lot of work to do, but this is the first step.
Well, thank you very much. I was glad that you had the time to work with us a little bit. We had offered a different time, and you said, no, can't do it then. So we were intent. We were going to give you just that slice that you needed so that you could call in and help us better understand this program. We like to be clear that we're going to call on you again in another couple of weeks and give us an assessment about how the program is working. And thank you so very much for spending this time with us. And we'll be back in touch with you fairly soon.
Thank you. And thanks for accommodating me. I know it was tricky to try to figure out a time, so I thank you for working with me on that. And I look forward to the next time.
All right. Thank you, my dear. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
All right. Thank you. 868-034-2035-1-4336. We're down to our last 7 minutes. Go ahead.
Yesterday there was a program, from the from this particular program that we had just talked about. Linda and them set up a training thing for the young people that will be going out telling people and educating people about this program.
About the pilot program.
Yeah, and they stopped at some homes to tell people about that. So, but it's kind of got cold and everything like that. Yesterday,
Ain't cold. Man, we ain't even had no winter.
Maureen,
This is the best weather we
Maureen.
done ever had.
Maureen,
It was
zip
cold 2 days this winter.
Zip it.
2 days.
Zip it.
All right, them young people ain't got no problem. They wear short jackets right now, don't they?
No.
They don't care nothing about cold air on their behinds.
Maureen.
But go ahead.
Take care of your household.
Okay.
Leave them alone.
Oh, go ahead.
Anyway, it was good to see that folks, came out. In fact, there was a press conference yesterday. Also, I was looking for it, but
I saw it last night.
You did?
It was on, 10 o'clock news, yeah.
Okay. That's wonderful. So let's get to work, Highland Parkers, and take our city back, and take our water back from Detroit.
All right. Now, there are two things. I don't have the phone number. So if either Gracie or Linda are listening, the 753 number, if you want to sign up. But it doesn't matter because next Friday we'll have it and we'll be talking about this again. But then there's another thing, Marion. Gracie and I talked a little bit yesterday. And our conversation was about the new rollout for vaccines. And now what we've got is what we had said all along. We need to be signing everybody up who wants a vaccine. There's still a population of folks that are not sure. But everybody that wants a vaccine, there's a number for folks, particularly in Highland Park, because a lot of us struggled to get a site, 2 sites, 3 sites in Highland Park. That's your city. You shouldn't have to go to another city to get a vaccine. You should be able to get one where you live. And once Gracie identified the fact that Highland Park didn't have a health department, then we had to go do something else. So there's a number, and again, I'm at fault because I don't have it. I had it someplace else. And if you are interested, and I think Mary now is 16 years of age and older.
Yes.
16 years of age and older, and you're ready to get your shots, then you should be calling the Highland Park Human Rights Coalition. And again, I know let me see, what would that be? About 47% of the number. I know it's 753. I don't know what the last 4. I forgot.
We will have the number for you. And also, if you can't get none of us, call Welfare Rights and give them the number.
She don't know that number. 964.
I don't remember nothing.
964-0618. 964-0618. And again, 16 years of age and older. All right, because see, now that becomes important, Marion, because schools are now starting to ask students to come back in the building. And, some of us are very worried about that. I'm a school social worker. We're starting to see an uptick in the number of parents that are bringing their kids there to be enrolled already. So, for the longest time, we've been out with virtual learning and some in-school activities. Our sport still goes on and our practices still goes on. But, Marion, that's frightening.
Yes, it is.
We've got infections, new infections that are breaking out. And they seem to be breaking out in almost all suburban communities where there are either sports activities and the football and the basketball and the soccer and whatever else, and students between the ages, I think I heard 12 to 17, seem to be the most highly infected right now. And that's coming because of these practices that are going on, and somebody's got the virus, and it's easily transmittable if you're practicing and you don't have a mask on and you're in close quarters. So that's going on. Oxford School, the Livonia School, and it's 3 or 4 others, it's online, have taken back in your face, I shouldn't call it in your face, person-to-person education in the school. All right, because the outbreaks have been so severe, they all went back to virtual. So,
Well,
go ahead.
we tried to tell some people about that we were going to have those problems. But,
Apprehensive, yeah.
and, you see it now. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
That's the question.
And in the final analysis, those children are going to suffer because you didn't take no actions around this.
Well, the argument that's being raised is that the children are suffering now.
That's what I'm saying.
They're suffering now because virtual learning is not very good. And you would think, oftentimes countries, and the United States is really guilty of this all the time. There seem to be other countries. The virus is worldwide. There is no country that's not involved with this. And even Greenland, Alaska. Alaska is not a country. But, all places where there are people are involved with this doggone virus. And there are a lot of countries that have done exceedingly well in terms of education and children, even putting desks and whatnot outside, and so that the air can take the virus away and can flow around these children. And we seem to just be a day late and a dollar short, not having figured out what to do about this. Now, apparently, the school board, the school union, has taken a firm position on students going back inside the building. And I understand that. Some of the parents that I work with at my building are single parents that work at fast food places and very low income places. And they don't have a lot of the resources available to have school at home all the time. And they're telling me that their students, the kids are saying, Mom or Dad, I haven't learned anything this year. Haven't learned anything. Because at home, when the classes start on time, even virtual. And the instructors are saying when they open up their computers and get ready to take the roll in the morning, the kids are laying, they got their pajamas on, and you can see them on the screen, sleep, during education. So I know that this has been a struggle. But Mary, I don't understand how it is that we haven't figured this out yet. We've been involved with this pandemic since February of last year, and we just passed February. And what is the answer? And I know the group that Teresa and them work with. They got classes at different homes where they got 5, 6, 7, 8 kids being taught different grades and whatnot. But Mary, why haven't we figured? It's been a year. By now,
Maureen, I bet they figured out something for.
I'm talking about these teachers.
Oh, you talking about the teachers?
Yeah,
okay.
Why haven't they figured out something
They
yet?
not only figured out something, but constantly talk to the parents, and they can come together, and then all of us can help them as far as being able to take on the school board and all the rest of them. It's criminal. You got an education, but yet and still you don't want to find a way to educate these kids the right way.
Mary, we've been involved in these conversations today a little bit too long, and I didn't even notice that we are at the end of our time. So usually I give you 30 seconds to say goodbye. Tonight you have 10 seconds.
It's good being here today, and I hope to see you again next week.
All righty.
Let's get busy.
What she said. This is the broadcast of Ask Welfare Rights, and if the Lord is willing, the creek will not rise. We will be back here again next Friday. Sorry, Tim, we are a little bit late, but we got carried away. And like we say at the end of every broadcast, goodbye.